Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Akil Aiman Bezamri, and now I'm going to launch the CSRF attack on the website through the register web page. First of all, I'm going to scan the vulnerability that exists inside the websites using the OWASP ZAPs. So I'll copy the link and we just need to enter at the URL attack and press the attack. Now we need to wait for a moment for the scan.
A few moments later.
Moment have passed and the website have finally scanned the vulnerability that exists within the website. And here we can see that the main thing is the SQL injection, but our target is to exploit using the CSRF. Now here we can see that the website absent of anti-CSRF token at their HTML code. This way we can exploit the register using the CSRF. Now I'm going back to the register web page and we're going to launch the CSRF attack. I'm going to show you the procedure of how to launch the CSRF attack. So first of all, I'm going to open the code that I've written previously. This is the code. When the code is executed, it will add a new username admin and the password is admin123 and the email is admin@gmail.com. So I'm going to launch it. So from here, in the victim perspective, they will see this as a legit website, but in our case, I only use this for demonstration. So when the victim click enter, it says that the data is successfully added. So from the sign in, we can use the name and the password that we have insert through the CSRF. So the name is and the password is admin123. As you can see, we have successfully entered the website using the CSRF vulnerability. So previously, when we launched the CSRF attack on this website, we also used the OWASP ZP to scan the vulnerability. And I noticed some changes that happened on the database, which is it add a new data inside the database. This happened because the website that we used for the penetration testing, it used the get method for the state changing action, which for the login or the register. So what happened when the database have multiple of data, the user can just log in without enter any input inside the query. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad bin Muhammad Katiran. So now I will explain about how to prevent from the CSRF attack. So first we look at the code. We need to add the CSRF token session segment code for the register.php and also for the admin.php. After that, we try to do a CSRF attack. So when the button enter click, the CSRF token invalid or missing message was displayed. This means the CSRF attack was failed to do. This is because the CSRF system generate every randomly and uniquely CSRF token.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Haris bin Muhammad Hilman, and for my part, I will be covering on the SQL injection part of the group project. So first thing first that we will do is to scan vulnerabilities on the web application itself. And how we do that is by using this software, which is called OWASP ZAP. So first thing first is we go to the automatic scan section. So we'll just have to copy the link to the web application. So here's the login page of the web application that we will want to scan. So just copy it and just paste it. Then we will start the attack or scan the vulnerabilities of the web application. So as you can see right now, these are the results of the process of scanning vulnerabilities from our web application. So as you can see on the bottom left, it is all the vulnerabilities detected from this web application. So all the colors of flags indicates different things. So as you can see, the red flag indicates the highest priority alert. So the highest alert is SQL injection. So you can see there on the evidence, it says you have an error in your SQL syntax. On the description down, it says SQL injection may be possible. So this might mean a lot of different things. For instance, in the SQL coding, there might be unvalidated parameter being used that is being directly linked to the SQL database, which means that the attackers can directly insert codes and regain important information. So now we will be moving to the SQL injection demonstration. So I will be showing you how to execute the SQL injection attack by using this particular tool. So let's navigate to the manual explore page. And this is where we, one more time, just paste the link of the website and we will just launch the browser. And we're just gonna fill the input box with random information such as admin. The password is also admin. Now let's try logging in. So as you can see, we are not able to log in because that is the wrong username and password. And navigate to the post section, which is the login page. So as you can see on the requests, these are the requests that we made previously. How we will start the SQL injection attack is navigate to the attack, go to the first page, and we will highlight the username and go to the add section, add, and we will use the prepared SQL injection list that will automatically attacks all type of SQL injection code. So let's just add that to the username. And we will do the same for the password SQL injection. So by clicking the start fuzzer, we will start the attack. Now let's start the attack. So as you can see, this is the process of attacking currently executing. And as you can see on the state section on the bottom right, all the reflected state is when the attacker successfully execute password cracking by inserting SQL injection code. Let's take a look at one of them. So as you can see, this is one of the reflected state. So as you can see here, it stated you have an error in your SQL syntax. So this is one of the examples which the attacker successfully execute password cracking by inserting SQL injection code. Another example that I want to show of the effect of the vulnerability of the SQL coding, which is, as you can see, this is the login page. So by simply inserting SQL code here, we use the or 1 equals 1, which means it is always true.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Shakal Muhammad and I will present about the code review for the Studio Cafe. So first and foremost, we move to the file that called register.php. So as my friend Shakil has presented about the penetration test about this file, so based on the review, I had found the vulnerabilities of this code from this file, which is at line 50. As you can see, form action equals to admin.php, the file, which is the action, and then the method post. So from this line of code, this form does not include a CSRF token. Other than that, any external website can submit this post request to admin.php. And also, the browser can automatically sense a cookie and a session data. So, from this line of code, it will result in an attacker can force a victim to create an admin account without consent. So we move to the ways to overcome this problem. So first and foremost, we can generate a CSRF token inside the register.php. So as you can see this is the line of code that we can use to overcome this tag. Other than that, we can add a CSRF token to the form which is on the previous line that I said before, which is we need to input type hidden and so on. Other than that, we can verify the token inside the add admin.php file. So the image stated overcome the problem. So after we fulfill all the ways to overcome this problem, we can achieve the result as stated on the screen, which is the attacker cannot guess the token, and the token is tied to the user session. And other than that, false requests are rejected. So we're moving on to the second section for the code review for the file called login.php. So I had found several vulnerabilities from this code, which is at line 36, at line 40, and at line 45. So from this code, I found that there is no restrictions, no sanitization, and data is sent directly to the backend. And backend likely to build SQL queries using the user input. So SQL injection does not happen in HTML directly, but this form provides a attack vector that sends malicious input into the backend. So this happened at login.php, which is the front end, which means that only user can see this page. So we're moving on to the backend, which is the admin.php. So as you can see at line 8 until line 16, from this code, I can found out that the user can input directly concatenated into SQL queries, and the password can compare directly in the SQL, and the session ID not generated after the login. So we're moving on to ways to overcome the SQL injection. So we just need to parameterize the query inside the admin.php. So as you can see on this image, this code have been parameterized. So it will be resulted with SQL injections with can no longer works. Other than that, login bypass is prevented, and only valid username and password can log in. Passwords are securely verified and hashed. Other than that, admin access is protected. So the SQL injection tag is enabled by a sanitized user input, which is submitted through the login form at lines 36, 40, and 45, which is exploited in the backend SQL query. The SQL injection vulnerability was caused by concatenating user input directly into the SQL query. This was mitigated by implementing prepared statements, password, hashing verification, and secure session handling. So that's all from me. Thank you.